sorry for the trouble, but unfortunately
there
I
is
have
no
to
trouble.
cross my
Is
teeth
there-
and dot my eyes.
Is there troubles or just solutions?
Okay. So, you know why they sent you for evaluation? What purpose of the evaluation is? Anything to you?
Can anything, is this going back to the judge?
Well, that's why I wanted to make sure that why you know you're here, and then I'll explain.
Can any of this be used against me?
Okay. So, the purpose of the evaluation is just to see whether or not you're competent to proceed. If you know what you're charged with, more or less how the legal process works. You don't have to be a lawyer and know all the details, but more or less have an understanding of how the process works, okay? I am going to ask you about the charges and what happened, what the police are saying. The only thing that I don't put in the report are the specifics of the charge. So if you tell me, yeah, I did it, or no, I didn't, or where's the other guy, or he threw the first punch, or the cop said A, B, and C to me, those details don't go in the report because the purpose of the report is not to assist in the case whether or not you're guilty or not. It's just to let them know you're well enough and informed enough to proceed with the legal process. So even though I'm going to be asking you some questions about the charges and what the police are saying and what happened or what kind of discussions you had with your attorney, that kind of thing, any details that can harm you or help you don't get put on the report, okay? The judge does get a copy of the evaluation, and the judge's chambers then send a copy to both attorneys, so state attorney and whatever public defender or private attorney you may have. Okay, they're the ones that forward it on. I just forward it to the judge. Okay? I can't provide you the copy directly, but I assume you can get the copy through your attorney. Okay. Any questions?
Well, can I remain silent? Like realistically, answer no questions.
Well, if you give me a reason...
Is that gonna help you at all? Like, I just...
My questions are only gonna be, do you know what you've been charged with? Do you know what the judge's responsibility is? Do you have an attorney? Are you representing yourself? Do you have an attorney? Do you know what the state's job is? Do you know what evidence they may have against you, witnesses, video, tickets, the cop involved, if you had anybody with you at the time? If you know how you're supposed to behave in court, do you know what can happen if you speak out of turn, or you're disrespectful, you slam a chair, the kinds of consequences that might be put in place when you return to the courtroom, when you can speak in court. Those are the kind of questions I'm going to be asking.
The thing is that, I think that answering questions is like explaining myself. I feel I shouldn't have to explain myself to anybody. So, I answer no questions. Court, doctors, unless I feel I need to.
Okay, so you feel you're competent?
Competent for what?
To proceed in your case, to defend yourself in court.
Who says it's my case? And when that's the state's case. In my opinion, that's the state's case.
Were you ever given a ticket or arrested for something? Because it says here that you have 2 case numbers. That's why you're here today.
Well, could there be an error on the state's matter? I'm here to help.
If there is, the only way you're going to be able to help yourself is to go to court and defend yourself. Prove that you haven't done anything wrong, either by representing yourself or having an attorney represent you in court. But
well,
there's a case open. You can't make the case go away.
Well, there's a case. Well, like I said, I feel I shouldn't have to explain myself to anybody, you, the judge, anybody. There's been a mistake, and we'll see how it turns out.
Okay, but you've been ordered to do the evaluation, so I can't force you to do the evaluation.
I showed up here to visit because...
But this isn't a visit, it's an evaluation. So I have to ask you questions and you have to give me
Okay, so what is it that... So you're saying I have to answer questions?
I can't force you, but yes, the court has ordered you to complete the evaluation. It's not a voluntary evaluation. I'm not going to hold you down and force you to stay here.
But the thing is, this is going to the judge and the state.
Yes, but only to tell them that you know the information that you need to know, that you're aware of your charges, that you're aware of the legal process, that you either represent yourself, or you want an attorney.
I feel those charges aren't even mine. Who charged it? The state charged it. Those are the state's charges, not mine. I'm here. Somebody made a mistake. There's a mistake.
I understand that maybe there's a mistake. I'm not here to determine whether you are guilty of a crime or not. It really is no skin off my back one way or the other. My job is only to let the judge know, are you aware of what's going on? Are you aware of whether it's true or not true, the charges? Are you aware of what you've been charged with and what needs to happen next in order for you to resolve?
My beliefs, why should I have to explain my beliefs? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a case going on. I understand they hired you to complete an evaluation. Well, like I said, I feel I shouldn't have to explain myself, answer any questions at all.
But it's part of our legal procedures. So before you can, if you hadn't had an issue in court, if you were answering questions in court, being cooperative in court, or working with an attorney to resolve this case, you probably wouldn't have been sent here. But since now there's concern about whether or not you do understand what's going on, that that this isn't just you being difficult, or a sign of a mental condition, or a sign of something else that might be going on, they need to roll it out. It's a way of protecting your rights, so that you don't go through the legal process, make a stupid decision maybe later on that you regret because you weren't thinking clearly or something like that. So it's basically a protective process. Again, I can't force you to answer the questions.
Yeah,
the judge has ordered you. I don't know if they can, arrest you and detain you for not cooperating with the order, or if there can be, more difficult in the case. I don't know. That's a question for your attorney if you have.
The thing is there such thing as a right to remain silent? Like, I feel like you shouldn't have to answer any questions at all.
Your case and why you're testifying, yeah.
Like, why should I have to explain myself to anybody? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
If you're in court and you're defending your case, you don't have to testify against yourself. Your attorney can speak for you and help you in the case if you want that help.
There's nothing to defend, though. Am I defending anything? Like, is anybody hurt?
Do you have
a
case against you or not? Have you been charged?
Have I been charged?
With some sort of crime?
I think that name on that paper has a charge on it. But me,
Were you ever stopped in person and given a ticket?
Doctor, are you asking me questions, doctor?
Yes, I'm asking you questions.
Can that be used against me?
No.
You're saying no.
This is not used to be used against you.
Okay, but if you say no, but if it goes back to the judge and the state attorney, of course you can.
Nothing that can be used against you on the charge will be included in the report. You saying, yes, I was arrested. People are falsely accused all the time. People are arrested, they go to court, and they say, hey, you have no proof, and the case is dropped.
The thing is, why would I have to explain myself if I was arrested or not? If I ever was arrested, that happened in the past. Whatever happens in the past is gone. I move forward. Whatever happens, I continue forward. I don't look back.
All right, so.
And from here, I live the moment. From here, this moment on, is what I live for. I don't go to the past.
I'm just going to ask you a simple question, so we can move on, because I'm not going to be able to circle with you. Do you want to answer the questions, or are you choosing to not answer the questions?
What questions do you want me to answer?
The competency ones that I already went over with you, the ones that I'm going to ask you about whether you've been charged, what you've been charged with, what happens in the legal process. Are you willing to answer those questions?
Can it be used against me in a court of law? Can any state?
Be used against you.
How do you know,
Doc?
How do you know?
Because it is my profession, and I know how this works.
Have you ever heard of any statements can be used against you in a court of law? Have you ever heard of that?
Yes, those are in legal cases. I'm
here
for a competency to.
Okay, you're here for a competency, but does that go back to the judge? Yes. So then that means.
With respect to competency, not with respect to whether you did the crime or didn't do the crime.
So that means it can be used against me. Any statements that you write, anything that I say that you write down on that paper that goes back to the judge can and will be used against me in the court of law.
Against you how?
They're statements.
What are you referring to?
They're statements, right?
Against you in what capacity?
If you write anything on that paper and goes back to the judge, you can use it against me. So
In what capacity?
I choose to remain silent. Like, is that all right?
Okay, so I'm gonna let him know that you've chosen to remain silent and you do not want to answer any of the competency questions. I can't do more than that.
I mean, I wish I can help you in any other way, but I
That's helping
mean,
me. This is
I
going
mean,
to
you're
negatively impact you.
really okay if that's what you believe. Who am I to argue with you? You can still,
I
you
can't
can,
force you to
you
do
can,
the
you can still write the report, though, right?
There's nothing to write. What is there to write? You haven't answered any
No.
questions.
There's not, but I showed up, right?
But that's
Hey,
the beginning. I have to do my assessment.
you can write that. Hey, he was here. He didn't.
I will write that you
He didn't.
showed up,
He didn't.
but you didn't want to
He didn't
answer
feel like
questions.
he had to explain himself, right?
That's the best I can do. But I can't render an opinion on whether you're competent or not competent because you haven't answered any questions.
Okay, that's cool.
It'll be back in the judge's hands, and the judge will have to.
All right.
You don't feel comfortable answering questions about your history, whether you have any mental health issues, if you've been arrested before, if you've been in jail before.
Anything that happened in the past is gone, Doc. I live the moment. That's all that matters. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a nice one. Have a good